This month, we are lowering the barrier to goal setting because I've talked to a few people who said, I do want to set goals, but I don't know. It's halfway through January. I don't have anything, never mind. And so what we're doing is we're doing 8 mini episodes this month. Each of them just one little idea that might spark something for you, that might be something you want to take and make it your goal. Or somebody and you're like, I'm going to send this to them because this is something they would like. And so take some, leave the rest. And they're just short, easy episodes to adopt for yourself or to send it to a friend.
Well, we used to never work at home. Then we totally went to work at home, and it's been this constant conversation. So I just thought, as we're entering into the new year, I did a quick look back and went to Gallup, which is where we go for our stats. And I looked at where are we at now? And so I looked at the stats at the very end of 2023. So it might slightly change by the time you're listening, but I thought it would be interesting to just see where are we at now with hybrid work at home. So I thought, let's talk about it just for a little bit. Because we've heard a lot of companies that we're coaching where they're really pushing back to the office. And so here we go. So some of the stats right now are 5 in 10 people are working hybrid. So there was that number. 3 in 10 are working remotely, and 2 in 10 are entirely in the office 100% of the time, right there. So that's the numbers have really changed since COVID, right? They've really changed. And a lot of companies are trying to really enforce this. And so the statistics are that 2.6 days per week people are in the office. I think that's consistent with what we've heard too.
Yeah.
It's 3 days the week. And so then the other thing there was all kinds of stats coming out. It was kind of interesting. People were saying things like, our team's communicating about what days they're coming in, and there's still conflict over that too. And then does the boss want them to be the same? There's still conflict over that too. So we've made some progress, but one of the statistics that show a little bit is that they're more engaged, they're less burnout, and they're less likely to quit if they're able to pick what works best for them. That is what this study, if they're not forced to be pushed into one bucket.
Yeah. Well, now you got me thinking on stats, because some recent ones I pulled as well was that 75%, this is a Deloitte stat, so also I trust this one, but 75% of the C-suite right now are seriously considering quitting for a job with better well-being.
Well-being, okay.
I mean, normally the quitting stats are about employees.
Yeah.
This caught my eye and was a bit not alarming to me, but because it's about the C-suite.
Yeah.
Usually they're the ones I'm here. I got a good package. I'm trying to keep them. So 75% was very high. And then
wow.
With new managers, it was around 40% that want to quit. That was coming from Forbes. But I think it was tied to the same things of just wanting a different type of work life and wanting some say in it.
Yeah, well, think about, I have no idea if this is interesting. Both of those are leadership positions, and people are being very determined about what they want now, and they're the leaders that have to deal with all that. And there might be a lot of weariness around that. Do you get what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
They're just saying right there that people are saying, this is what I need and want.
Yeah.
And these leaders are saying, I'm not sure, I'm struggling, I don't know.
I mean, one thing that interests me, I think part of all of this is you had 2 big forces collide at the same time.
Yeah.
You had post-pandemic, everyone's re-questioned life and work.
Yeah.
Which it takes everyone questioning it at the same time to move something that big, to move the way the workplace works. So that was new. At the same time, I haven't heard these talked about together, but it's Gen Z entered the workforce.
Yeah.
We all just started talking about Gen Z and jokes are showing up online, but they just entered the workforce. That's why. So you had those 2 things happen at the same time where Gen Z's wanting a whole new flavor of work, and that's introducing it into the conversation at the same time that people from the top down were thinking oh my gosh, things need to change. And then everyone in the middle are the ones quitting and saying,
they're in the middle.
Screw this.
That's true. Or at the very top, with, as you said, with the C-suites. So I have these last few things to over the last statistics that showed, all right? This is the benefits of remote, because that's been the world we've been talking about. And improve their work-life balance, obviously, right? More efficient use of their time. These haven't changed. Less burnout and fatigue, more freedom to choose, and higher productivity. But the top 5 greatest benefits for the organization are: it reduced the burnout and fatigue, it improved retention, so that's great, greater productivity, bigger talent pool. That's so true, because remember, like we've seen people like they'll hire from Seattle over here in Richmond and things like that. The talent pool is much further spread that, and it improved employee value proposition. So that's that side. Now it's becoming hybrid. And by the way, you and I have had conversations about facilitating hybrid. Woo!
Yeah.
That has been that's a whole new skill set we've had to learn, right?
Yeah.
Because facilitating in person versus totally remote, but hybrid, woo!
Yeah.
We have to work hard at that one. Anyways, this is on Gallup too. This is the last thing I'll read here. It says, these are the biggest challenges of hybrid work. Okay. The top greatest challenges for employees: less access to work resources and equipment, obviously, right? They feel less connected to their organization's culture. There's decreased collaboration with their team. Impaired working relationships with coworkers. That feels very much connected to the other one. Reduced cross-functional communication and collaboration. Yeah, I feel like that one's big. It's like you used to know so many other departments.
Exactly.
Now it's like you just really know your zone, right?
Obviously, we're in a new world of work. Obviously, remote hybrid are here to stay. But having a balance, we were talking about this earlier. Can we just talk some balance, people?
Yeah.
Not either extreme. Why does it always have to be an extreme? The balance of, yes, we can be remote and hybrid and have a cadence of times we get together in person.
Yeah.
Because I had yesterday with Chris, we had multiple times, because we were in the same building, he calls it his Joe Biden, just being around. just
being around.
Just make sure you're there, and then an opportunity comes. And it's like 2 times in the day, we ended up solving some problems because I just walked over and said, hey, can I talk to you about something?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's missed that is very hard to replace in a fully remote world. But if we're together once in a while, at least some of that can happen.
Yep. I feel like we can make the hybrid work. I do. And I think that's what the stats are showing, right? That there's a decrease in some things, but the flexibility that the world is mostly liking. So it's not really huge change. You know what I heard a company say the other day that was interesting is the ones that they feel like suffer the most are the younger new hires, because they have so many skills that they want to learn that they feel like that is what, when you were in the office younger, you get that environment and that you learn quicker. So they're noticing a slower growing because of the
you have
hybrid.
to now schedule it versus conversations just happening. That is tricky.
So it was a great quick check-in. I just wanted to share the check-in, what Gallup has to say about hybrid work.
So that's it for this mini episode. And like we said, the point of these mini episodes this month is just to spark a little something. So feel free, if one little piece sparked for you, take that and just forget the rest. That's fine. But we want you to take something out of this, or if you know a friend who needs to hear this episode, then send it along to them.